Welcome back to episode 12 of the Two Tone Podcast. I want to say off the top, thank you to everybody that subscribed. If you're not, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. It's a free way to show us that you appreciate what we're doing. But alongside me, as always, on the Two Tone Podcast, we have.
Theo Cal.
How you doing today, kid?
Doing good.
That's good. That's good. So, we don't really have too much to talk about. Well, we have a decent list of stuff to talk about today, but a lot of it based around music and movies, coincidentally in this episode. But
Coincidentally.
I mean, it is kind of like a music and movies kind of podcast. But we're just here talking shit. There ain't really a narrative that we need to fulfill in the podcast, really. But anyways, thank you all for subscribing to the Two Tone Podcast, and let's get on into it. Welcome back to the Two Tone Podcast. If you are not familiar with the Two Tone Podcast, my name is Jaylen Kale. I don't know what to do with my hands because I'm using a boom this time. But new EP scrolling right there on the side. Check it out, Unfuckswittable on all streaming platforms. Um, go support me on there. I also do a little bit of physical art, a little bit of clothing design. You can check out all my social medias and all that, what you have. Linktree.com/JAK Productions. Scrolling down there at the bottom. Tell them a little bit about yourself, T. How you doing? What you been on? What you doing?
Still working on the script. I make movies or shorts as of right now, but movies in the future. Yeah, that's about it. I mean,
Fair enough.
I ain't got
Fair
that
enough.
much going on other than movies and film.
But yeah, he does movies. I do music. Just a little. What's the word I'm looking for?
Reintroduction.
Little reintroduction into the our purpose on this podcast. Come follow our creative journey as we discover exactly what we want to do and how we want to do it. So you were talking about your script for Channel 6, right?
Yeah.
That's still the title you're going with?
I don't know if I'm gonna change the title or not, but
I was about to say, because you were talking, was it last week, that you had changed a little bit of the script, like, not like the major plot points, but just kind of like a little spot here and there you changed up, so you don't really know if it's going to fit into the narrative that you had originally hoped it would.
yeah.
So with Channel 6, what do you think is, like, how long do you want it to be? Because your first one was what, like 3.5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So are you aiming around that same time point, or are you kind of trying to make it longer, make it like a 90-second film or something like that? I know people do kind of little short snippet type things.
I'm trying to make it longer.
How long would you say? 10, 15, 20, 25?
I don't know exactly, but longer than the last one.
I'm about to say, I feel like the story of the night shift was pretty good, but it was, I feel like there definitely could have been more like character development, getting to know the characters and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
say la vie, it's your first time swinging at the fences. But it is good for what it is. And I think the trailer was just as long or almost as long as the movie was, right?
Yeah.
It was funny how that worked out, but anyways, if you haven't seen it, check out the night shift on youtube.com/@ glasshousefilms8. And also, if any of y'all are interested in acting or behind the scenes work, prop making, lighting, holding a microphone, doing whatever in one of TT's shorts he's got coming up, hit him up on Instagram at glasshousefilms8, right?
Yep.
All right. Hit him up if you're in that realm and you want to work with him on something. But onward and upward into, oh snap! All right, quote of the week. Before I forget the quote of the week, the quote of the week goes hand in hand with TT's film of the week, which is what we'll probably hop into right after the quote. But the quote reads, "I've been an outlaw since I came into this world. It's been dope as shit." As from the main character in Brigsby Bear. His name is James, and that leads us right into TT's film of the week. Tell us a little bit about Brigsby Bear and why you chose Brigsby Bear as this week's film of the week.
So Brigsby Bear is a really great film to watch.
Tell them a little bit about like the plot of it, if you don't mind.
So the plot of the story is that there's this family that they move into like this bunker and they live there and they raise a kid and the um the kid watches this show called Brigsby Bear
Right.
and he grows up and then decides to leave.
Hold on. I want to pause it right here because I feel like this part of the story is like so integral to what happens in the story. Like I watched it the other day and I was trying to explain it to Sam without like giving away the whole plot of the story, you know? Cuz like the thing that happens like 15 minutes into the movie, you're like, "What? Well, holy shit, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then, you know, the movie kind of like progresses forward in the in a different way than you thought it would originally, you know. That's what really captivated me with Brigsby Bear in the beginning when I first saw it back in 2017. I think it came out. Um, I believe me and Kyle went to see it actually, but anyways, I love movies that have like that twist that you know you're like what hold on what's happening. I thought we just had this movie where they're gonna live in this bunker, but all right, so he's watching this show called Brigsby Bear. Sorry to take over, T. He's watching this show called Brigsby Bear, and each week somebody comes in and delivers the new episode of Brigsby Bear, right? And this part happens like 20 minutes into the movie, and there's just no more Brigsby Bear. And so it's about this character like trying to find friends and find other people to like recreate the ending of Brigsby Bear. I feel do you feel like that's a decent summarization of the plot without like giving away like the that one moment that you know you're like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. It was definitely better than what I would have said, but
Okay. Well,
yes.
tell me a little bit about why you chose Brigsby Bear. I kind of have a inkling on as to why you chose it, but tell us a little bit about why.
So I chose it because um I asked Kyle Baston if any of you know him. I asked him a while ago if he could send me a list of films that I could watch, that I like to learn more things about
Oh, I used to
filmmaking.
do that all the time. He's got like a whole list of a collection of Blu-rays and shit,
Yeah,
and they come with like a little QR code to where you can get it on digital.
yeah.
And he'd always be like, "Got this new movie. Here's the QR code for the digital." I'm like, "My nigga." But anyways, continue.
But he sent me a list of films I should watch, and Brigsby Bear was on one of them, or was on the list. And I mean, I saw it before he recommended it, but um, it just reminded me that Brigsby Bear was a movie because I totally forgot about Brigsby Bear for a while.
It is kind of one of those movies that you like. If you didn't know about it when it came out, you probably still don't know about it.
Yeah.
But now that you're watching the Two Tone podcast, um, there we go. Hit the right key this time. Since you're watching the Two Tone podcast, subscribe for more movie recommendations like Brigsby Bear. But um, what about Brigsby Bear like enticed you? Have you watched it recently? As I know you just said that you watched it a little while ago, around when it came out.
Um, I haven't watched it recently, but I remember a lot of it. So
I'm about to say you told me that was definitely like the last movie that I expected you to pick, but it makes a lot of sense coming from a recommendation from Kyle. But
yeah,
um, what was I about to say?
it's very interesting if you want to get into filmmaking to watch that movie.
Yeah, yeah. It's literally about this dude who like his TV show stops coming in, and so he's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna make the ending of this movie, and it's gonna be how I think it's supposed to be." It's just about
Yeah,
him finding friends and him finding people that want to work with him and have like similar interests. He comes friends with this dude that does animation in the movie, and like his little sister ends up helping in all sorts of cutesy kind of shit.
it definitely shows you what being an indie filmmaker is kind of like, because like you have to get all these people that are like your friends and people that you know to help you, and it's in the film he uses a lot of like people. I mean, he doesn't know these people personally, but he gets to know them over
Right.
the
I feel like
course of time.
that's what a lot of like movie making and stuff like that is about. Like, you have a couple of friends in high school that might have been in theater or something, and then you're like, "Hey, do you want to be in this short film that I'm working on?" And y'all might not have been the best of friends, or just seeing each other in the hallway type shit, and then you become friends, and they want to be in more films and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's a lot about making connections, and it really does show you what it's like to be an indie filmmaker, because it's a lot of him and just one other dude going out into the middle of nowhere just to film these couple scenes, and they end up like getting rained out and uh, lost, and all sorts of different shit. But
Yeah.
it definitely gives you a look into what it's like to be a independent filmmaker. I think it's a very interesting movie. Very, very worth a watch. I watched it, was it 2 days ago now? But it's just such a wholesome fucking movie. It's such a good movie. Cannot recommend it enough, honestly. What were some of the other movies Kyle recommended? I'm kind of interested to know.
Uh, Hereditary.
I haven't seen that one.
Um, Prisoner was also one. Um,
Can I get one of those pillows, T?
yeah. I forget. I have the list on my phone now. I can look at it.
If you want to, you can. Um, but while you're looking at the list of movies on your phone, I'm gonna hop into the album of the week. So this week's album of the week is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles. This is honestly like one of my favorite albums from the Beatles of all time, if I'm being honest. Um, it starts out, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the track, and there's one song in between that and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I forget exactly what it is, but it's one of those albums that it really what's the word I'm looking for? It kind of transformed the genre of pop music in the mainstream media's eye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of it was very psychedelic based, coming from their trip from India, and a lot of it was just like really like almost counterculture kind of ideas in their music. I feel like they've always been a band that's been more safe with their music, especially when they were first coming over to America and just trying to get their chops and get their legs in a whole new music scene and everything. But as they went on and made more albums and stuff, they got more experimental, and that's where I feel like I take most of my what's it called inspiration from. The Beatles is more of their later work compared to their earlier work, honestly. What do you think about the Beatles? You into the Beatles at all, T?
Um, yeah. I mean, they've been one of my favorite bands for a while. Um, but I remember when I was younger, just listening to a bunch of their music and stuff. Uh, and that album cover of the Lonely Hearts Club band,
There you go.
um, people have conspiracy theories about like different stuff in that album cover.
Interesting. I've never really heard any conspiracies. What is one or two that they conspire about?
Like how Paul McCartney has his like back turned in the
Does he really?
picture, I think. Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's small on my screen. It's
And
small on my screen. I can't quite see it.
people think that means that he's like died and
Interesting.
all this
A
stuff.
doppelganger came back.
Yeah. And like there's some other stuff, other conspiracy theories that go along with that are in the album cover, but I don't know all of them exactly.
Interesting. I have to look into it. I'm always down for a good conspiracy. If you like conspiracies, check out episode 10 of the Two Tone podcast. We had Evan on. We talked about conspiracies towards the end there. It was quite the chaotic podcast. Honestly,
Definitely.
The elements were out after us. But anyways, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, 10 out of 10 album. It's in my opinion probably their best album. Maybe behind Abbey Road or
Abbey Road is another one. Another one that has conspiracy theories.
I have heard a few conspiracies about Abbey Road, like how John Lennon doesn't have shoes on.
Yeah. How they're all in different suit colors.
Yeah.
And like how those suit colors mean like different things, like one's a priest, one's dead, one's a something, the other one's a
Interesting.
something else.
The Beatles, I'm about to say, the Beatles have always been a band that's just been very, really, really popular in the main eye. There's a, excuse me, there's a book called The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And in the book, he talks about, you know what an outlier is, like in math,
Yeah.
you got 1, 14, 19, 22, 24, 1 would be the outlier because it's outside of the middle of the group, right?
Yeah.
So the Beatles were an outlier in the sense that when they were in Europe and England and stuff, they would literally play like hundreds and hundreds of shows every year just to get their chops and just to get their synchronicity as a band. So it's no wonder that they became like the Beatles. Like they just spent so much time perfecting their craft and so much time fucking in the studios and just with each other trying to make great music, which inevitably happened.
Yeah.
It's really interesting just to see the dichotomy between everybody in the group. I feel like definitely Ringo and George were kind of closer, and then John and Paul were closer because they were like the more lyricist, coming up with melodies and stuff, and then George on lead guitar and Ringo on drums. He's just sitting back there. I'd like to be under the sea.
You know what's crazy?
Octopus's garden in the shade.
Ringo Starr is actually right-handed, but he plays left-handed drum.
That's very interesting. I did not know that.
And people say that's why he sounds so different as a drummer than most drummers.
I'm about to say Ringo Starr is like one of the top 10 drummers, top five drummers ever. He's just
Yeah.
so inspirational in the way that he plays the drums. I feel.
Also, Ringo didn't start in the Beatles. He started in a different band, and the Beatles had somebody else as their drummer, and then kicked him out and brought in Ringo.
I remember that. Have you seen? Did you ever see the documentary they did about the rooftop sessions
No,
on Paramount Plus?
no, I haven't seen that.
All right, so it's about how they write um this album. I forget. Oh, it's gonna fucking bug the shit out of me. Um, I forget what album it is. Goddamn, it's the one with Hey Jude and Jesus Christ, I'm drawing a blank. Don't Let Me Down. It's got all the
Oh, when they
fucking.
were like, is it the?
It's the one when they were on top of the roof. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
I
about?
know what album you're talking
It's
about.
about them writing the album and then recording it on top of the roof, and it's really fucking interesting because you know they come into the studio as this group of four guys, and eventually George is like, I'm fucking done with y'all, dog. I'm fucking done. See ya. I'm out of the Beatles. This shit is too much for me. And George like leaves for 2 weeks and then ends up coming back just to record the last couple songs on the album. But Don't Let Me Down, one of my favorite fucking songs from the Beatles ever, especially the version on top of the roof. It's so fucking good. I feel like the whole rooftop session is so good. You don't really see too many bands doing weird kind of recording sessions like that. It was really really interesting. Caused a lot of controversy too because like there's like who the fuck are these guys on top of the roof just fucking just jamming out in the middle of the day, and then they're like, oh my god, it's the Beatles, and they're like, George, get the camera, and everybody was crowded around in the streets just listening to the Beatles, just waiting for him.
Imagine if a whole band just like decided, you know what, let's record in a submarine.
Um, I don't think that would bode for you too well.
You're just like under the water playing the drums, just type shit.
They should have recorded Yellow Submarine in a Yellow Submarine. They missed out on an opportunity. But anyways, the Beatles, one of my favorite bands of all time. It's one of those bands that I don't really listen to every time I'm trying to listen to music, but I'll get that itch every now and again. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot the Beatles. Fucking have some bangers, dog.
Yeah.
But if you haven't listened to Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, check it out. It's definitely worth the listen.
But anyways, back to the list.
Oh yes. Back to the list. What did Kyle
So,
recommend for you outside of Brigsby Bear and Hereditary?
so he recommended Nope, The Sound of Metal, American Animals, Arrival, Licorice Pizza, After Hour, Unforgiven, Funny Games, Nightcrawler, Prisoner, uh, If Belay Street Could Talk, Creep, Hunt for the Wild, what? Hunt for the Wilder People. Jesus Christ. Hunt for the Wilder People, and It Follows.
Surprise, surprise! I've never seen any of those movies outside of Brigsby Bear.
Nightcrawler.
Um, yeah, I'm fucking terrible at watching movies though. I'll put on a movie for 25 minutes and then be like, I wonder, I wonder if I folded my socks correctly, and then that's the OCD in my brain. I'll just.
I started Nightcrawler. I haven't finished it though.
What's that one
It's a
about?
very long one.
What
It's
is it
the one
about?
where the guy like record or like he's on the news team and he goes and records like crashes and stuff. I think you've seen
Oh,
it.
I have seen Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't remember it was called Nightcrawler, but I have seen it before. Me and Kyle watched it way back.
It's a very long, slow starting film.
It is a long ass movie,
That's
but
why I didn't finish it a while ago because I just got so bored of just sitting there watching the dude take 7 years to do something. But
I'm about to say it's a very good movie. but it's kind of a slow burn at the beginning, but
Yeah.
very very good movie. I haven't seen that movie in fucking forever, dog. But onward and upward to the topics we have for discussion today on the Two Tone Podcast. I wrote them down old school. All right, so topic number one: Adam Savage.
One of the best prop makers to ever grace his face across Hollywood,
I'm not really
in
too
my opinion.
I'm not really too familiar with Adam Savage prop work making,
Yeah,
or prop making.
he's so good.
I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say, but I've never seen him make props before. So, is he? Does he have like anything like like he made the Predator head or some shit like that? Is there anything that I would know from him?
He started, or I think he worked on some of the Star Wars like ships and stuff.
Interesting.
But that's all I really know of him making props
I'm about
for
to
like
say,
a major film.
yeah, I really only know him from MythBusters, honestly.
Yeah,
But
but
he seems like a very interesting kind of guy.
he definitely he does have a YouTube channel called Adam Savage Tested, where he like makes props and like goes and talks to like prop makers or like people who collect props from films and stuff. It's pretty good watch if you want to just sit
Interesting.
and watch somebody make a prop for a good hour and a half, depending on how long it is. But whatever. Yeah.
Very interesting. I'm about to say I've seen him make a lot of shit on MythBusters and stuff. They have like blueprints and shit, and then
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they make them together because they seem like two capable dudes.
He's also a very like enthusiastic person.
Yeah, he seems like a very upbeat kind of guy. He seems like it'd be fun to hang out with.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm about to say, I don't really know too much about him outside of MythBusters, but I'll definitely have to check him out. I've always been interested in like what they use as a prop, opposed to what they use in CGI and stuff.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times in big budget movies, they'll just go into a green screen room with a couple props and then CGI the whole background in.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting to see how props are made. In my opinion, I've always been one of those people that love watching like the how it's made show. I'm always interested to see how human beings came up with the society that we live in.
I mean, I've always been like when it comes to like making stuff, I've always been that type of person that just likes to throw shit together. Like, you remember all the shit I used to make?
Mm-hmm.
Like all the weapons out of duct tape and shit.
Oh yeah, bro, make a whole fucking Glock 9 out of paper and masking tape. I'm like, what the fuck? How did you even figure this out, dog?
Yeah.
And then shoot bullets. I'm like, bro, you gonna kill somebody with goddamn with cardstock, bro? You gonna cardstock somebody to death? That's just crazy as fuck.
But yeah, I just find it really calming to just sit there and throw a bunch of shit together and make something out of it.
I've always been one of those people that like taking shit apart and then trying to put it back together.
That shit pisses me the fuck off sometimes. Cause I'll be like, where did this go? Did this one maybe?
And then you put something in upside down and it blows up, and you're like, oh fuck your shit.
I mean, I like to do that too, but it's just gets annoying sometimes.
Most definitely, I understand the struggle. But
or like when you do it and you lose like a screw or like break something, like break a piece of plastic that holds a screw in.
Oh yeah, there's nothing worse than that.
That's just so irritating.
Oh yeah, I'm about to say I'm gonna come clean to you, Evan. Sorry about this, but on the first ballad song that Evan made me, the pins that hold the blade in came out. If I dropped it on the ground at work and they just like, pew, and I said, oh fuck. But I got some paper clips and Jimmy rigged it in there, but it still works. I still use it, but
yeah, I would love to definitely just like one day just have like a whole ass shop full of just random shit and just walk in there one day and just throw stuff together for something.
That'd be very cool. That kind of leads into the next topic we have to talk about, which is movie memorabilia. So I feel like a lot of times props that are made in movies, become memorabilia from for like the old heads. Like if somebody had Luke Skywalker's like lightsaber hilt from the original series. That
Well,
shit would fetch some bands
I
in the
think it's kind
market.
of sad though, because like when making like all these famous films and stuff, and like having all these props for the films, they'll like after they're done filming, they'll just throw it out in the trash, and then like people
Yeah,
will come by them and pick them up, and it's like you could have literally just saved that and put it in like a museum piece
or like
with like
auctioned them off or something.
yeah.
I feel
Just like imagine walking into like a museum piece where they have like everything from different films just all
right.
kept in one area.
That would be cool as shit. Just like Hollywood by the eras or some shit,
Yeah.
like the 1910s, you got somebody's hat or some shit. That'd be cool as fuck just like go into like a physical place and be like, this is how far movies have progressed.
Yeah.
That would be cool as shit. But back to what you were saying about throwing away like all the props and shit that they make in movies. I feel like a lot of times, or in a lot of ways, that's comparable like to the fashion industry. A lot of times, they'll mass produce something and it won't sell, so they just throw it away, and that leads to a lot of fucking garbage and waste and landfills and shit. But
Yeah.
I don't know how bad the problem is with prop making and shit and sets. I feel like that's where you would really that's where you could really get into trouble, fucking just throwing away whole sets and shit. Just you build a set for a certain movie or a certain aesthetic, and then you either hold on to it in a warehouse or you throw it away, make a new one when you need one.
Yeah. Um but I think it's kind of like depressing because like all these prop makers and people who build sets and shit, they put so much effort in putting things where they need to be for the film, and then they just get tossed out at the end.
Oh yeah, about to say it's always sad to see shit that could have gone to use uh thrown away. Sorry about that.
Like even if they like don't even need it anymore, they could have just like given it to like one of their kids or something, and then like
Right.
their kid gives it to their friend, and their friend gives it to whoever, and on
It
so
definitely feels
forth and
like
so on.
there's a better way to get rid of props in movies, But
That's why I'm gonna try and keep from. I'm gonna try and keep a collection of my stuff. Like I'm just gonna have a prop from every single film that I make.
that could be very interesting,
Yeah.
At the end of your life, here's everything from everything I've ever done. That'd be really cool. All right.
I mean, I got a whole trunk full of props from the first fucking film.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
I still got like half of the shit in my car.
You
I
got a
just haven't
wig
had
in
time
there.
to move it out of the car, bring it in. I mean, I have, but I just don't feel like doing it sometimes.
I don't fucking blame you. All right. Next thing we have to talk about on the Two Tone podcast. Learning new stuff in your respective field. So I think originally what you had said was Lord, I forget exactly what it was, but it was along the lines of having to learn how to do everything, how to do how to write the script, how to edit the script, how to
Yeah.
shoot. What did you want to talk about along those lines? What piqued your fancy in that aspect of making a movie?
Um, is just being a creative person in general, like starting out and stuff, is very difficult because you have to know everything.
I mean, I feel like it's less of knowing everything and more of being willing to learn something new,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times, especially nowadays, people will kind of people what's the word I'm looking for?
People are looking for satisfaction from different things that they don't have to learn themselves.
I mean that too, but I feel like people nowadays they I, God, I forget what the fuck I was even saying. Um oh yes, people nowadays they want to think that everybody that they run into knows less than they do, A lot I mean even in my own music and stuff, I'm honestly not one to take advice from other people, like, because my music is, how I feel. And if it's literally like an artistic expression of, you know my emotions and shit,
Yeah.
essentially. But a lot of people are not willing to take advice, even like in the smallest amount, from other people. And they always assume that they're the smartest one in the room. And when you're really, when you really surround yourself by people that are smarter than you, that's when, you actually learn how to do something, or how to uh how to proceed in your artistic endeavor, like, when I was trying to start the podcast, I went and did Evan's podcast, and I was like, this is sick as shit. Will you teach me how to do da 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 da, instead of, just being like, damn, I wish I could do a podcast.
Yeah.
But I asked him, I was willing to learn. A lot of people feel like asking for help is kind of like looked down upon, but I feel like it really should be enforced more. If you're the smartest person in the room, you probably shouldn't be in that room. Type shit.
Definitely. Um. But yeah. Adding on to that, I feel like people that think that they're smarter than everybody don't realize that they're not. So then they shit on other people's opinions, and like, even if the person is like, say I'm that type of person, and fucking Martin Scorsese walks in the room and he's like, you could do this, and I'm like, nah, I'm smarter than you, I know what to do. Like, taking advice from people above you is or taking advice from people above you and below you helps you in life. Whereas if you feel like, or if you act like you're smarter than everybody, and like nobody can outsmart you in what you're doing, you're just living a life of, um what's the word I'm looking for?
You're just not living life to the fullest.
No, they say it all the time. It's a word, like, it's a phrase that is I've heard it 1700 fucking times and I can't think of it. But it's like, you're living a life where you could learn, but you're deciding not to learn because you think that you're better than everybody.
Right.
But I forget what the phrase is called, or what the phrase is. But
I'm sorry, kid. I ain't got no idea, if I'm being honest. But like, not
but
you
yeah,
you ain't even gotta take the advice from somebody, in my opinion. It's really about whether you're willing to listen to somebody else's opinion on something. you know not even like, not even specifically in the vein of creating something, but like,
yeah,
if, like, say we're at work, and I turn around and I'm like, hey, if you do this, it'll make it faster, and you just keep doing what you're doing. I'm just gonna let you fucking drown, because I'm not gonna waste my breath trying to help you do something correctly, or
yeah,
more efficiently. But I feel like a lot of times people that have the mentality where they think that they're smarter than everybody else, they kind of, they slowly start to realize that, or people slowly start to stop wanting to give advice and wanting to be helpful towards that person.
definitely.
But anyways, enough talking about bitch ass motherfuckers. Onward to the next topic of discussion for the Two Tone Podcast.
Willfully incompetent.
There you go. Fuck it up, kid.
That's what it is.
Good shit. All right. So the next topic of discussion, we're going to talk about our D&D campaign that we're designing.
Actually, I was willfully ignorant, but same difference.
Either way. Either way. Either way. Okay. Onward to our D&D campaign that we're going to be designing here in just a few short hours. Well, for us today. For y'all, it was yesterday.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm pretty excited to get into this new campaign of D&D that we're kind of diving into. It's going to be like a space western kind of thing from what I've gathered.
From what I gathered, it's just like a mixture of everything.
It'll definitely be very interesting to say the least to play like an actual game of D&D
Yeah.
for the first time, you know. We were playing this Hogwarts based D&D kind of thing with one of our friends Mike and Evan was it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Um and it came to a close, you know. We beat the bad guys. We got all the house points. We caught the golden snitch and all that shit. But it was super fun to fucking play the Harry Potter themed D&D thing. It kind of got me more hyped for the actual version of D&D. I'd never really been interested in it, and honestly, until we really got into it and started playing.
Definitely, yeah.
Did you enjoy the Harry Potter themed D&D?
Yeah. Um. Well, I mean, you guys did like a whole uh season without me, so I mean,
Yeah.
I stepped in at the last second, but yeah, it was fun.
I'm about to say, did you enjoy the experience at least? Like,
Yeah.
just coming together with a group of friends, you know, just playing pretend for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely.
definitely more fun than I had thought it would be originally, honestly. But um, do you have any ideas on what your character's gonna be?
Um, I still can't decide if I want him to be an outlaw or not. But I was thinking like a cyborg cowboy type person. Like he got like Jax from or Jack, yeah, Jax from Mortal Kombat,
Yeah, the dude that's got
the
like
robot
the
arms.
cyborg looking bro. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted my character to have that, but he like has these like futuristic like revolver type guns that he carries around, and he's like his cyborg arms are like super quick, and he can like do sick shit with them.
That'd be sick as fuck. I think my character is gonna be like this homeless drunk guy.
Yeah.
Maybe like a elf or a orc or something. You know, I kind of want it to be like an original D&D kind of character, but he's gonna be like this drunk guy who just walks around and stumbles upon this group, and he's like, "Can I join y'all?" He's gonna talk like he's gonna talk like that. But he's
No,
gonna have a little cup, and he's got his beer in it, and it's got 4 coins in there from when he was fishing for change earlier. He forgot to take the coins out.
you should
Um,
you should definitely make him like ask the group of people for money
oh yeah, it's
at the
like we're in the
beginning.
middle of a battle, and I'm like, "Do y'all have 14 cents for me?" He's gonna have a peg leg.
Your weapon of choice is just the mug. You throw the mug at the
Now he takes his peg leg off and just hops
beats the
around, just
shit
trying to
out of
beat
people.
motherfuckers. Yeah. That'd be fried as fuck. You can't tell me that wouldn't be fried as fuck.
That'd be so funny.
But
But
anyways, I'm really hyped about the new session that we're gonna be heading in here soon. Um, but
definitely.
as I was saying, I never really been one for D&D, but I've gotten more into it as we've played it actually.
I want to be that one group of D&Ders that just brings in like the miniature like land masses or miniature like landforms. They just build
You
like
bring like a map with you,
well,
like a miniature map. You know, you have like a little guy.
yeah, but like the map is so. There's this YouTuber. His name's Jazza. He does a lot of like D&D stuff, but he also does like he makes art and shit.
I know what you're talking about.
Like he like the way he makes his like land masses for his D&D games is so fucking sick. I want
I
to do
watched that
that.
video. I'm gonna say you sent it to the group chat, and I ended up watching it. It was really fucking interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
You know, you just got a whole block of foam, and then used a hot knife to carve away the mountains and shit.
Yeah. I definitely want to try and make one of those for a session or something.
That would be really cool. I feel like
Just have like little miniatures on the board, just
oh yeah, I feel like
running around.
it'd be very difficult to you know, finish the whole thing and have it be relative to the story if you're not the dungeon master. I feel like
Yeah.
that would be the real hard part, because I feel like the only person that could really come up with a map like that is the DM, because they know where the layout of the land and all that shit. But I feel like that could be a very interesting project in the future. Write you a little campaign and have a little storyboard to go with it. That'd be really interesting.
And then like have like a smoke machine for like fog or whatever.
That'd be cool.
Just have like the smoke go across the land or whatever.
You just got a little flashlight at the you standing at the base of it,
Yeah.
Long ago, the fog machine's going up. Long ago, 4 people came into the woods. Type shit. That'd be really fucking cool if a DM did something like that. But
I think it'd be sick as fuck, but
most definitely.
and then like having like the little buildings and stuff, just like little towns and shit.
That would be pretty fucking cool. But I'm gonna say you should talk to Evan about that. He makes little miniature figures in his 3D printer sometimes. I think him and Mike are selling them for his little module that they're doing together.
That shit dark.
You drinking lemonade? I couldn't tell you last time I had lemonade from a bottle. But
Well, usually I have pink lemonade, but this is regular.
oh, okay. The pink one's even more sweet.
I know, but I usually get it from work, so
Yes, that'll do it. That'll do it.
it's
All
usually not in a bottle.
Very true. Comes out of a tap. Anyways, onward and upward. Talking about Oppenheimer, the new Christopher Nolan movie, correct?
Yes.
I think so. But it's about World War II nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
I think so. But yeah.
I was watching a little thing last night about him. Him and a guy from Germany that were
About
both
Oppenheimer?
scientists. Yeah. So there was Oppenheimer, and then there's this other guy from Germany. I forget his name, his last name, but
Hitler.
no,
Anyways.
he was a scientist, not Hitler. Hitler was not a scientist. But anyways, the guy from Germany figured out like atomic particles and how you can split them and shit.
Right.
And he came up with like this whole book about how like the world could change from all this shit. And Oppenheimer read the book, and then like he became fascinated with like this dude from Germany. And then World War II broke out. And the dude from Germany told like Hitler's friends and shit about how he could make a nuclear bomb for them.
Oh.
And so they said yes, and he started working on it. And then Albert Einstein sent a message to the president at the time, and was like, the president of the United States at the time,
right?
And was like, Germany's making this bomb that could literally kill everybody in seconds. And the president was like, shit, we need to get this bomb made before Germany gets theirs made. But Germany was already like working on it for a while.
Right.
And so the United States was like, shit, we need to find somebody. So they found Oppenheimer, and Oppenheimer was like, yeah, sure, I'll make this bomb. And so he got a bunch of scientists, like a bunch of like German scientists that went to America fleeing Hitler and everything.
Right.
So he got them all together, and they started making this bomb. And that's about as far as I got. But yeah.
I'm about to say, I'm not really too familiar with Oppenheimer, honestly. But I saw the trailer for it, and it seemed really fucking interesting. It seemed just like almost a race against the clock, just to try and outsmart the enemy, if you will. But we all seen what happened at the end. Japan said, "Hey, Japan fucked around and found out." You know what I'm saying? Twice. You know what I'm saying? But
We dropped the first nuke. They were like, "You gonna give up?" They're like, "Nah." So
he said,
dropped
"We
the
just
second
gonna
nuke.
move down the street. Fuck y'all. We gonna set up base here." And he said, "Oh, that's cute." And just fucking destroyed everything again. That shit's fucking crazy as shit that America really fucking dropped 2 nuclear bombs on a fucking island
You know what's
nation.
crazy as shit is that
Mm.
America dropped 2 nukes, and we have been the only country to ever drop 2 nukes.
We've been the only country that ever dropped a nuke, if I'm correct.
Yeah, but like there was like nobody wanted to fight. Like Germany didn't want to send a nuke back at us after we dropped 2
we would
nukes on
just send
Japan.
14 back on all of Europe and said, "Fuck y'all, bitches."
Bro.
Said, "Fuck y'all."
Especially at like nowadays, if somebody drops a nuke, we're just fucked.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be dead as shit in fucking 5 minutes flat.
Because then everybody's launching a nuke if one person throws a nuke.
Oh yeah, just like imagine Russia shoots a nuke into Hawaii or something.
Yeah.
They shoot a nuke at Hawaii. Bam, all of Hawaii, aloha, nigga. See you later. And then the U.S. gonna hit them with 14 nukes, and then one of them gonna go off course and hit China, and then China gonna be like, "Oh, word, okay." Just for 17 minutes straight, we got 19 nukes coming in America for no reason. It takes 4 to blow us all up.
And then fucking like all of our allies are gonna launch nukes back, and it's just gonna be a whole nuke war.
And then North Korea gonna have some guy fart in front of a lighter and hope it does something.
Yeah.
But
North Korea's gonna have some guy fart in front of a lighter. Hope it does
but it's fucking ridiculous as shit that America actually went through with dropping the nukes. That shit's fucking crazy as shit to me, honestly. Like, we were just disregard everybody on that entire country.
Yeah.
Just fuck them all.
You know what's also crazy is that the president of the United States would probably... Okay, the president and some of his ally workers would probably be the only people alive in the U.S.
Oh yeah, they going to a bunker about 17 miles down.
Yeah, and that bunker is nuclear proof.
And they got Twinkies down there, so they gonna last forever, even if they get radiation.
Yeah.
But,
And then, so they're just going to be launching nukes while everybody else in the United States is fucking dead.
shit is fucking crazy as shit. If it really came to fucking nuclear war, dog, I ain't going out like that. I'm gonna do something. I ain't gonna get fucking got by a goddamn nuclear missile, dog. Like, even imagine if you survived the blast, right?
Yeah.
You survived the mushroom cloud. You got all that radiation just fucking everywhere. You can't eat none of the food that grows there.
Yep.
You can't even fucking breathe the air there. You gotta move 1,700 miles away.
But I mean, what are you going to do? Because, like,
I'm gonna go
like
fight
you
a
say,
fucking moose or something, dog.
you just use
I'm gonna go hands up with a grizzly bear.
hands up with a grizzly bear.
I'm not gonna fucking die from radiation, dog.
But yeah, that shit is crazy.
It
And
really
then have you
fucking
seen
is.
like all the shit that like in where was the nuke drop? Nagasaki, Hiroshima. Have you seen all the shit in Hiroshima after the nuke was dropped? Even years after, there's fucking people's shadows burnt onto the ground.
Oh yeah, I've seen that shit. That shit's fucking crazy. Like the shockwave just from the fucking bomb hitting the earth. Like,
Yeah.
pretty fucking ridiculous how much destruction that shit caused.
There was so much heat involved that it literally burnt some dude's shadow into the ground.
That's a lot of fucking heat and
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
And fucking everything that's
Yeah.
bad.
Yep.
Not good.
Not good.
Not good at all.
Nope.
Anyways, onward. Next episode. Next topic of discussion on the Two Tone Podcast. Okay. We're almost at time, so I'll give you a few, and then you tell me which one sounds the most interesting.
Okay.
I just read the Grimace Shake bit, and I was sad.
Depression.
It'll come eventually, bro. Just wait. It'll be good. All right. So, Asteroid City, the Flash and Spider-Man movies, or the Hollywood vampires. What sounds interesting to you?
Let's do Asteroid City and Hollywood Vampires.
You choose one. We got 5 minutes.
Well, that's 5 minutes to talk about both.
All right, so Asteroid City is a new movie by Wes Anderson coming out to theaters soon. It might be out in theaters already. I don't know, but it seems like a very interesting movie. Wes Anderson, as I've said, has been one of those. Huh?
It's already out.
It's already out. But Wes Anderson is, as I've said previously, is one of those directors that, scratches the autistic part of my fucking brain, I just said that as I was scratching my head. My autistic part is not back there. It is spread throughout. But anyways, Wes Anderson, I love this fucking direction style. I love his color schemes that he uses, It's just a very kind of nostalgic feel to the movie. But
have you seen Bottle Rocket?
Bottle Rocket. What's
by
that?
Wes Anderson?
I don't think I have, honestly.
It was like one of his first major films that he's made.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it. What's it about?
It's about this guy that he's obsessed, or not obsessed, but he is interested in being a criminal and stuff. Oh. So he gets his friend to help him, and his friend breaks out of a psychiatric ward. He doesn't really break out; he just leaves. But they go on this whole thing, and they rob a library and shit. And
a library?
Yeah.
The fuck they gonna get at a library?
I don't fucking know. But they rob a library and shit, and they're on the run from the cops.
Very interesting concept. Why would you rob a library? I'm so confused.
I don't fucking know.
But what was it called?
Bottle Rocket.
Bottle Rocket. I was about to say firecracker. Still an explosive, but wrong one. All right. I don't really know too much about Asteroid City, honestly, but I remember seeing the trailer and being like, oh, this shit, that looks interesting. But if it's a Wes Anderson movie nowadays, now that I'm hip to his style, I really enjoy his
my favorite film,
his direction style.
Fantastic Mr. Fox. Will always be my number one good film from him.
It is pretty fucking good. What was the other one you said you want to talk about?
Hollywood Vampires.
Hollywood Vampires. Sorry, so I hadn't even fucking heard of Hollywood Vampires. Tell me a little bit about what the fuck even is Hollywood Vampires?
They're a band of people.
Mm-hmm.
And
usually how a band goes.
I wouldn't really say that they're famous, but there are two famous people that are in the band. Johnny Depp and Alison Cooper.
Yeah, you had me listen to him a little bit at work, and I was like, who the fuck is even in this band? And I, went to the little bio page at the bottom, and I was like, fucking Alison Cooper's in this band?
Yeah.
And motherfucking Johnny Depp? What the fuck? But I had never even heard of, what was it called? Hollywood
Vampires.
Hollywood Vampires, yeah. I never even fucking heard of them, but...
I mean, I haven't listened to any of their music, but...
Yeah, I'm about to say, it's kind of like, it's just like covers of, 80s rock kind of vibe songs, Alison Cooper covers and what you have, but it's kind of like, if you think of Johnny Depp, you think of kind of like rock, heavy rock, 80s, 90s vibes,
Johnny Depp is probably one of my favorite actors to ever live.
He is very, very good at what he does.
He's good, and he's just so different from other famous actors. He doesn't give a fuck. He could care less about acting. He's
I
just
feel like
so. I feel like he's down to earth, a down to earth person.
I could see that. I could also see him being kind of a dickhead. You know, he's known for doing a lot of drugs and living the party life.
We all
But
do drugs at some point in
you
life.
know, if you ain't, then do you a couple of them at least? Fuck.
But yeah, especially with what he had to go through with the Amber Heard bullshit.
Oh yeah, that shit was fucking ridiculous. The whole fucking trial was ridiculous. Just having to listen to this fucking dumb bitch just talk about shit that ain't true for 4 weeks.
Talk about how she shat on his bed. Imagine
Bruh.
walking in and you just got dookie on your bed.
No, I'm just. You can have the house. I'm
Be
getting
like,
a new one.
I'm going home.
You can get a new. I'm gonna get a new house. You can have that one. But
But yeah, he just seems like a nice dude.
I could see it honestly. He's definitely got that fuck you money. Like
Yeah,
he doesn't need to act. He does it because he enjoys it. You know.
and then what? Especially with like who he works with a lot of the times. If you don't know, I like Tim Burton. He works with Tim Burton a lot, but
Yeah, he
teach him.
does. He's really good about like just not taking a role just because they want him as that role. I feel like he really embodies every role that he gets.
I mean, when I saw an interview with him, and when he was younger, or he said when he was younger, he took roles because he he wanted, or because people told him that he should do it. But as he got older, he realized that he didn't like that, so he just started doing roles that he wanted to do.
That makes sense. I'm about to say if I had to do, if I had to do something, acting wise, I definitely want it to be something that I can kind of relate to more. Something you can relate to more, and something that you see actually panning out in the public eye.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, what the fuck was they called? I keep forgetting the name. Hollywood Vampires. If you haven't heard of Hollywood Vampires, give them a listen. It's I give them 6 out of 10. I ain't even gonna lie. It's not my vibe, but if you like Dad Rock, check them out.
If you like Dad Rock.
But anyways, that concludes episode 12 of the Two Tone Podcast. TT, if you could tell Joe Biden one thing, what would it be?
Go to a graveyard,
Mm-hmm.
take a 6-foot deep pit,
Mm-hmm.
and just walk in there.
Damn. You want him to die?
Bro, he's at that age. Might as well just tell him to fucking do it.
Bruh, you ain't gotta tell him to die.
He's 842, my guy.
Okay.
He's like if Grandpa was put in the fucking president.
I totally agree with you there, but he ain't gotta die. He can go sit on the porch and drink a fucking sweet tea and enjoy the sunset.
Maybe get him some chocolate chip cookie ice cream.
Get him
some.
It's a fucking mission listening to this, bro. But anyways, I didn't mean to get off on a fucking political tangent.
But yeah.
Joe Biden, sit down, drink you a cup of sweet tea, and just watch the sunrise. All right, you ain't got no business being the president, dog. You old as hell. Anyways.
Yeah.
Onward and upward. Thank y'all for watching the Two Toe Podcast. If you're not, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate y'all. It's a free way to show us that you appreciate what we're doing. And leave a like, leave a comment, share it with your brother, your mother, your sister, your goldfish's cousin. We appreciate y'all. And this has been the Two Tone Podcast.